Hello, welcome back to the channel. Today we're taking a look at Rakdos Midrange, continuing our series of touring the meta. So this deck is very similar to the mono black midrange that we played earlier last week. And this deck it shares a lot of the same cards that we saw from that deck, but it is splashing a little bit of red for Blood Tithe Harvester and Brotherhood's End. Blood Tithe Harvester just as a decent 2-drop, and this, I'm assuming, for clearing the board against decks like Mono Red Aggro or Soldiers. Against Selesnya enchantments, this might not be effective enough, just because by the time you're casting this, the enchantments deck is getting a little bit too tall and it's getting out of range of Brotherhood's End. But we do have removal for that deck, regardless. We do have 4 cut down and 4 go for the throat. There's a Sheoldred's Edict. There's also some Liliana the Veil, some Graveyard Trespassers to get them out of the graveyard. Some Phyrexian Arena to keep the juice flowing. 4 copies of Sheoldred because, as we said before, if we're playing black, we're playing Sheoldred. There's updated Sheoldred from the most recent set, and we have a couple copies of Vraska and some Phyrexian Fleshgorger. In the mana base, we have some swamps, a Takenuma, some mountains, a Sokenzan, some fast lands in the Black Cleave Cliffs, some slow lands in the Haunted Ridge, some pain lands in the Sulphurous Springs, and 2 copies of Mirrex. I'm finding it interesting that we're seeing Mirrex pop up in almost every deck lately, except for probably 4-color control, because the colors are actually important in that deck. But in these 1 and 2 color decks, we're seeing a lot of Mirrex popping up, and honestly, I'm here for it. I mean, it's a great land, and it just allows you to keep applying pressure, even if your win condition is not applying poison. So this is the deck. Let's go and see how it do on the standard ladder. All right, we have our first opponent. We're looking at 2 Haunted Ridge, which is the one that comes into play tapped unless you have 3 or more lands. And then we have, or 2 or more other lands, I should say. And we got some removal, Graveyard Trespasser, Liliana, and Phyrexian Arena. So turn 3 is going to be a little clogged up, but it's got some early removal, so we're going to keep it. Okay, so looks like we're up against the White Life Gain deck. We're going to start by playing a Haunted Ridge first, so we can play Go for the Third on 2. Yep, and that's exactly our choice target right there. Okay, we'll go and play the Black Cleave Cliffs, because it will come into play untapped. And let's see here. Is it possible they could be playing... what is it? Forget the name of the card, but it's a card that gives their side of the board like protection from black and red. So I think we're just gonna get rid of that right now, just in case they are running it. I don't want to get blown out by a tech card. All right, Hopeful Initiate, that's fine. And Traveling Minister. So now would be a great time to draw Brotherhood's End. We did not draw it, unfortunately. But we do have a Graveyard Trespasser to get that creature out of their graveyard. Fantastic for me. Now the Traveling Minister can give +1/+0 to the Lunarch Veteran, which will allow the Hopeful Initiate to get a +1/+1 counter if they both attack this turn. Ooh, Intrepid Adversary, not good for me. So yeah, we're really gonna need that that Brotherhood's End as quickly as possible. Hey, right on time, fantastic! And my opponent is completely out of cards in hand, so this is the perfect time to cast this. Get blown out. So he's got 3 land. I mean, he plays a wedding announcement. Okay, that's fine. Alright, let's go and play this, and we're going to play the Fleshgorger on 3, so we still have 2 mana to use to Go for the Throat with. Turn. Got the Luminous Phantom, so the spirit side of that card means he's going to gain life if creatures die. That's resolve. Okay, I'll go ahead and do this right now. Lauren's Escape. Target artifact or creature gets hexproof and indestructible until end of turn, and then scry. Oh, interesting. Okay, well, let's go ahead and attack then. See how you deal with this, or if you choose to deal with it. Okay, they choose to just take the damage, which is fine by me. Let's see here. We're going to go ahead and do Liliana. We're going to make them sacrifice a creature. We're still going to keep mana open to cast Go for the Throat if we need to next turn. He's most likely going to attack my Liliana with both of his creatures next turn, though. Okay, no lands in hand. Perfect. Okay, yeah, he comes at me with both. Well, we're going to go ahead and kill the Phantom right now. Perfect, he went for my face with that one. I didn't even realize where he was sending that guy to attack. Let's see here. He's got one card in hand, so we're going to play Phyrexian Arena and Cut Down. So we're going to empty our hand out before we use Liliana's ability to make them discard a card. Boom. Perfect. Then we attack. Alright, so now we are both pretty much in top deck mode, but I have a better board position. So let's see how far this game goes. Okay, he's going to pay 3 life to exile that. Alright, cool. Alright, so we just got a bunch of lands, so we're going to go ahead and +1. And we will discard the Black Cleave Cliffs, because it'll come into play untapped, or tapped, I should say. Play our land per turn. Alright, land. Draw a card, draw a card. Perfect. So go Haunted Ridge. We'll play the Flesh Gorger on 7 this time. And +1 again.
You won't be outsmarting me.
Eventually we're going to end up ticking all the way up to 7 and making them just like blow up half their side of the board. If we ever get to that point, though. Tick it up again and attack for 7. We probably won't get to that point, though. I'll very likely concede this turn because I have lethal on board. Yeah, and there it is. The Snooze and Snorlax. Great name. Okay, Snooze and Snorlax. I have 4 lands, a Phyrexian Arena, and 2 Sheldra. So I don't have any early game, but I have enough land to play everything in my hand. So I think we're going to go ahead and keep it. And we'll go Black Cleave on 1, then probably swamp into Haunted Ridge on 3. Okay, so he played Azeator's Proving Ground, so whenever you see triomes like that, you usually are expecting to see 4-color ramp. Yeah, because like he has 4 different types of mana in play at the moment. Let's go ahead and cast Phyrexian Arena. That's going to come in, and he's going to cast the Flash Oblivion Ring card. Oh, actually he's not. Maybe he just didn't have it in hand. Yeah, so he's got multiple different triomes. He has access to every color of mana at the moment, so he is very, very likely to be playing a ramp deck, like the Atraxa Rampa deck. See what he's gonna do. Yep, there's the Leyline Binding. I was expecting to see that. I'm honestly surprised he didn't hit the Phyrexian Arena with that. But I'm not him. Okay. Plays 4, and he does not have the Invasion of Zendikar to ramp up to 6. Okay. Draw a card, draw a card. We're going to play the Haunted Ridge, and then we will play another Sheldred. See if you have the backup second Leyline Binding. He very likely does. Yeah, see, there it is. That is the only problem that these black and like Rakdos decks have is answers for this style of deck, because all of their removal is enchantment based, and black has very, very limited ways to remove enchantments. I believe like the only one that's in standard at the moment is it's one and a black, and you choose one, either like make your opponent discard a specific card or make them sacrifice an enchantment. I forget the name of it though. It's all good though. Let's see here. Let's go ahead and play a Liliana, and we're gonna start ranking up with it. We're just gonna start discarding cards. I'm gonna discard the Brotherhood's End because that's not gonna be relevant in this match. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So he almost has enough to play Atali. He has the Archangel Wrath though. Let's get rid of that. Well, that gets rid of that. You draw a card. Draw another card. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, we need the 7th land so we can play Flesh Gorger on 7. All right, he's got enough mana to play to cast Atali now, or Atraxa. Okay, he's going to cast Ossification. He's going to target the Flesh Gorger and pay the 7 life to get rid of it. He's going to play Elesh Norn. Interesting choice. Okay, so we're going to start with this. Make you sacrifice a non-token creature. Bye-bye. And then we will play 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Actually, we're going to go with the Bloodtithe Harvester. End turn. Okay, Elesh Norn comes in again. Not a problem. Okay, so he's pretty much out of options at the moment, so we're going to take this opportunity to kill that. And we'll take our turn. All right, cool. So we'll take that, and then we will play Vraska for full cost, so that she starts at 6. And we're going to start ticking her up. Submit 1 right there. Now, the plan here is if Atraxa lives long enough to get her up to 9 points, we'll poison them to 9 and then proliferate on the following turn. Alright, Elesh Norn is back. Pass. My turn. Alright. So that is the 3rd Elesh Norn that they have played. Very cute. So let's see here. Let's go ahead and go Liliana. We will make you sacrifice a creature. Then we will draw a card and proliferate. It's going to give a +1 counter to both of my planeswalkers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's see here. Let's go ahead and play another Bloodtithe Harvester. And we will attack with the other one. Bink. And end the turn. Alright, what you got? Okay, Archangel Wrath. Resolve. Where are you going to send the damage? Resolve all. Okay, so you decided to do 2 to both. That's totally fine. Alright, so we're going to take my turn now. Draw a card. Moves away. Alright, we'll go and play the Swamp. And then we will go -2 to get rid of that. And we'll play the Phyrexian Flesh Gorger for full cost. And we will attack. And I don't want to play another Harvester just yet, because I don't want them to draw like a Sunfall and just wipe my board completely. Okay, so they didn't have the answer. Okay, so we got 2 lands here. We got a Haunted Ridge. which is a slow land, and a swamp. So we'll probably play the Haunted Ridge first. Yeah. Let's go Haunted Ridge first. Hopefully they're not playing mono. Hopefully they're not playing mono blue. Mono blue is very annoying to play against, and it looks like they're playing mono blue. That's fine. We have all the removal in the world to throw whatever they cast. The mono blue deck's entire game plan is to play like a single creature and just ride it to victory whenever possible. So what we have to do is we have to try and play around whatever kind of counter spells they might be playing. Typically, the counter spells they want to play are like the ones make you will counter like any spell unless you pay like 2 more or whatever like that. Okay, so let's go ahead and play the Bloodtithe Harvester first. We're gonna have to goad a counter spell out of them because we're gonna have to discard a card anyway, so we might as well make them discard a card as well. All right. Next up, we'll play the Phyrexian Flesh Gorger. Make them discard another counter spell. Perfect. Okay, cool. We got a land. So let's go ahead and we're gonna chill on this land. And if they don't do anything with their next turn, we're just gonna start pumping out Mirrex tokens. Pass. Alright, and that is what we're gonna start doing. Because they can't counter a land. Next. Okay, they're gonna Fading Hope it. Totally fine. So Fading Hope goes off. And I have to play a card this turn, otherwise I just have to discard. So we might as well make them discard a card as well by causing them to counter it. As long as they stay on the back foot like that, I mean, we're fucking golden. So let's get another counterspell out of that hand. Perfect. Okay, so that fizzles. Alright, cool, we got a land. So we're going to play Soken's-On. And then we will play... Let's see here. We'll see what kind of counterspell they happen to have. None. Works for me. Notice how Sheldred came in without any kind of pause on the opponent's side there. And that happened because they didn't have a valid reaction for Sheldred coming in. Okay, so I'm going to Fading Hope that. That's totally fine. So that comes in. So instead, we are going to pass the turn. Yeah, we'll play the Black Fleet Cliffs, though. We'll pass the turn and pump out another Mirrex token at the end of their turn. Unless they decide to play something, which I didn't think they would. So, Mirrex token it is. Alright, we got another Takenuma, but we're going to actually hold on to the Takenuma for channeling purposes if we need to. So, attack. Alright, cool. And let's see here. Yeah, we'll just end the turn right there. So if we have to, we're just going to overwhelm them with Mirrex tokens and start proliferating with Vraska. Let's go and play land. Next. All attack. And they do not have a very good way of preventing me from doing this line of action. Because, like, if they play a creature, I mean, I have an entire hand full of just cards to kill whatever creature comes out of their hand. And if they decide to counter anything, like, it just leaves them open for other things. Yeah, see, they see what's happening here. It's like they know that they can't keep up with a fresh Mirrex token every single turn. Okay, so we have 4 lands, and we have a 2 and 2 3-drops, so I guess we'll keep it. We're not going to be starved for mana anytime soon. That's a pretty cool card back. I like that. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and play the Haunted Ridge first, so we have enough mana to cast Tenacious Underdog next turn. Perfect. Let's see here, let's go and play Swamp into Tenacious Underdog. Okay, let's see what they do. Okay, I was totally expecting some form of removal just there, but it did not happen, so we'll attack and see if they react. Perfect, they did react, so that's going to go away. But that also frees me up to casting Phyrexian Arena. Completely free. Okay, so this is a blue-white deck. So this could be soldiers or it could just be straight-up control. If it's control, then we're in for a long game here. Let's go and play Haunted Ridge into Graveyard Trespasser. Okay, they play Counterspell. No big deal. So this... Oh, Invasion of New Phyrexia, huh? Interesting. Alright, so let's go ahead and play the Sulphurous Springs, and we will play Go for the Throat. And then we will play Liliana. Make them sacrifice a creature, which is the only creature they have left on the board. And bing, bing, bang, boom. Okay, another Invasion of New Phyrexia. This time it's for 3. Okay, so we got our Mirrex token. So let's go ahead and play the Mirrex right now. And then we'll go +1, each player discards a card. I will discard a Black Cleave Cliffs. Okay, they discard a Depopulate. Next, end turn. So let's see how they choose to send their attackers this turn. Oh, now he has a Mirrex. Interesting. Okay, so we will go for the Throat, the one that is going after our Liliana. Right. That's out of there. Then we pass. Let's see what they do. Pass, pass, pass. They play a Memory Deluge. Soul Partition, huh? Okay. So I'll come back to hand. I will counter with a sacrifice a creature token. And then we'll just straight up play Liliana next turn. Because they're tapped out, they're not going to do anything about it. Let's see here. Liliana comes back. Make them sacrifice a creature. And then we'll play the other Black Cleave Cliffs. Mo mana, mo mana, mo mana. I swear it feels like we're the one playing the control deck here. Oh, interesting choice. So they soul partition their own battle back so they can cast it again for more creatures. Very interesting. Draw a card. Draw a card. Okay. So then we're going to go here and make each player discard a card. I'll discard a mountain.
I'm tired of your secrets.
Okay. And we'll play a Sheldred. Hulk. And we will pass the turn. End turn. Let's see what they do. They are opting to make a Mirrex token. So their game plan is going to goad me into blocking with Sheldred, and then they're going to channel an Igonjo from their hand to deal 4 damage. At least that's what I'm assuming that last card is right there. But I have the cut down for. Oh, okay. So we cast Farewell. Exile all creatures. Exile all enchantments. Okay. Let's see here. Is there anything we want to do about that? No, not really. I'm not worried about it. Okay, cool. Let's go +1. Each player discards a card. Oh, shoot. They didn't have any cards in their hand. That's me being dumb. But let's get rid of the cut down. And then we'll play Sheldred. They don't have anything to sacrifice, though, unfortunately. So end turn. That's okay, though. I needed to get more loyalty counters on her anyways. Any cards in your graveyard? Ooh, 8. I can actually do that next turn. Cool. Resolve. Ooh, he wants to make 6 of them now. Okay. Let's see. So what is this going to do? For each opponent, destroy up to 1 target creature or planeswalker the player controls. And each player discards 3 cards, then mills 3 cards. Okay. So, in this case, we're going to start by knocking that down. Okay. Then we're going to play that. And then he doesn't have any cards in hand remaining, so we're going to do this. Okay. And then we're just going to activate this right now. Alright, she comes back. Destroy another one of your tokens. For each opponent, destroy up to 1 target creature or planeswalker that controls. Target any number of creatures or planeswalkers controlled by different opponents. Okay, I can only submit 1 here. Yeah, submit 1. This is actually the first time I've ever flipped Sheldred. Mm-hmm. So I really need to draw into my Brotherhood's End here. Right, Barry comes back. Makes the emblem. Okay, that's not what I was hoping for. But that's okay. Let's play Sheldred. What's his abilities anyways? Draw 2 cards, then discard 2 cards unless you discard a creature card. You can emblem with Knights get +1/+0. Ooh, you might be able to stack that emblem actually. Tap X untapped creatures you control. When you do, shuffle target non-land permanent and opponent controls with mana value X or less into its owner's library. Interesting. Okay, next. End turn. Put all creature cards from all graveyards onto the battlefield under your control, then exile. Okay. So we're not going to be getting any creatures from their graveyard because they're not playing any creatures. So that means we're just going to get the Graveyard Trespasser back from our graveyard. Unless they... Well, no, they've tapped out. So I don't know what cards they're going to be getting from the top of their library. Okay, they did that at the end of my turn. That's right. Okay, draw a card, lose 2 life. What are you gonna do, friend? He's mulling over his options at the moment. What's the word cost? Word 1? Okay, that's not bad. Okay. So he's bouncing my my Sheldred back to hand. So he doesn't want me to get 1 creature out of the graveyard. Because if you look over here, there are no creatures in his graveyard at all. So I would only be getting back 1 card. Okay. He's going to go out at it with all three. So I will pass, go to blocks, and block one. And kill one of them, and the other two die. Or the other two get through. It's going to flip. Resolve. But he's going to have to choose which Teferi to keep. Resolve. To get another Teferi. Okay, now he plays Sunfall. Okay, all creatures go bye-bye. That's totally fine. So he's completely tapped out, so that means I'm going to play Sheldred on my turn and make him sacrifice his Teferi. So he's not playing any creatures, both those cards go into the graveyard. Activate. Now this... Yeah, I can make him sacrifice a Planeswalker with this. Play land, and we will attack for one. Bink! Get a poison counter. I think that was a little bit of a misplay on their part, playing that Sunfall just there with no mana left open to convert that into a creature. Well, either way it wouldn't matter, because it would have to be a non-token permanent that they sacrifice to Sheldred. Alright. Don't activate that. I probably should have attacked first. That's okay, though. I'm not too stressed on it. That's a bonehead play on my part. Let's go ahead and attack and goad them into activating their creature. Resolve. Perfect. There we go. Alright, you better play stuff from your hand because you're dropping them on my turn. Now would be a great time to have another farewell. Harry, perfect. Draw a card? Come on, draw a card. I know you wanna. Okay, plays Invasion. For 3 dudes. That's not the dude. Ah. That's lame. That's fine, though. Alright. Let's go ahead and play a Blood Tithe Harvester. That looks like we both made some pretty bonehead plays there. But that's okay, though. End turn. Resolve all. Draw a card, yep.
Now that is an interesting...
Resolve all. So he's not playing any creatures whatsoever. All of his creatures are just tokens. So when True Scriptures resolves and flips back over, we will be killing his Teferi. Or whichever Teferi he decides to play. Yeah, resolve all. He gets big. Two, 3, 4, 5. Okay, pass. Okay. Pass. Block here. 1 blocker. Pass. Bink, bink, bink. Okay. The battleground is absolutely dusted. 100% dead zoned. Alright, we got another Teferi. I wonder, can you stack multiple emblems? I mean, he hasn't done it yet, so I don't think he can.
The best plans are improvised.
Okay. Resolve all the things. Alright, my turn. Activate. Right, I have a Murex token. Okay, that comes in. Alright, let's get rid of the Faithful Mending. Okay, get another token. Sacrifice one of your planeswalkers, because all of your creatures are tokens. Alright. And then we'll play an underdog. Let's see here. And we have enough mana to activate it again. Yeah, let's activate it. Alright, comes back. And we'll destroy that. And we can't destroy that. Let's destroy Teferi. Because I can always deal with the token later. But if we get rid of Teferi now, he won't be able to cast his ultimate spell. No tax. He has 18 cards left in his library. He's drawn really, really far into his library. I mean, by all accounts of the way he has his deck built, like, he should be beating me. But we're kind of like at a little bit of a standstill here. Ooh, you have a Jace too, huh? You want to mill me out? And it's mill, not exile. Okay.
You can be made to obey.
Plus one counter on the little buddy there. Okay, so he wants to come at me with everything, huh? Alright, well, let's see here. Well, let's go ahead and block this here. I'll show this here, and this here. And we'll take 3. Wandering Emperor.
This ends today.
So many naughty boys over there. Oh, got rid of the farewell too. Alright, let's go and play that. Too bad it doesn't have Death Touch. Well, I guess that's that then. That was actually a really good game. That was a good back and forth. I honestly do not feel bad about losing that game. All right, let's see here. So we got 3 lands. We have a fast land, a slow land, and a pain land. 2 cut downs, a graveyard trespasser, and a Liliana. It looks like a keepable hand. Looks like our opponent is going first. Okay, so I see an untapped mountain, and that makes me think mono red. So we want to play a cut down early. I was right! Get out of here. Nobody likes you, you're adopted. Let's see here. Let's go ahead and play the swamp this turn. See what they go for this turn. Alright, so they play a Bloodthirsty Adversary. Very cool. Let me see. Resolve. Pass. Give him a little bit of false hope. Kill it. And do they play a second creature? They do not. So we'll play the Haunted Ridge now, and play a Graveyard Trespasser. Graveyard Trespasser comes in, we'll get rid of the Bloodthirsty Adversary and steal life from him. And now they can remove this if they want to, but they would have to be discarding cards to do it. And it looks like they want to. That's totally fine for me. So they discard a card. They waste one of the removal spells on it. Removal that could have gone to my hand. Or, to my head, I mean. Let's go ahead and play Liliana. And we are going to make you discard a card.
Happy to help, but I'm taking the credit when we win.
That's fine.
You know, I think
I will discard
it won't be
that.
smarting.
You will discard your last card, which is a Strangle. Okay, you are in top deck mode, and I am not. Play Phyrexian. And I will opt not to do anything with that right now. See if they play a creature. They do not. Perfect. Alright, looking good. Let's go ahead and play Phyrexian Fleshgorger. And we will each play discard a card just to get another loyalty counter on there. Discard that. Okay, they cast Strangle. Works fine.
Knew this was a waste
Alright,
of time.
draw. Draw. Alright, cool. We got a Mirex, which is land. We'll play a Sheldred. And at this point, I don't think our red opponent can come back. Because they're taking extra damage every turn, we're gaining life every turn, and fueling that Phyrexian arena. I think they're contemplating whether or not they want to continue this game. And it looks like we have a Roper. We don't like Ropers, because Ropers waste our time and theirs. I can see your mouse hovering over there, dude. Just do something. Okay, he uses the Lightning Strike to take 3 damage. Alright. Draw some extra cards. We gain some extra life, and they say that is enough. I'd say if you're looking for something to shore up your match against Mono Red, making them discard cards is a good place to start. Okay, so here we are for the post-game wrap, and of the 5 games we played today, we won 4 and lost 1, and the one loss was against a hard Super Friends Azorius control deck, so we weren't exactly favored to win that anyway, so while it was a loss, it's not going to hurt me too much to lose to a deck like that. Of any kind of changes that we might want to make in this deck, Brotherhood's End was really, really solid when we drew it. It did really well against the mono white deck. And when we didn't draw it, we weren't really missing out too much either, because most of the rest of the deck is just like removal on a stick. It's like you have cut downs, you have go for the throat. So let's count it up real quick. 4 cut down, 4 go for the throat. That's 8. Sheldred's Edict is 9. You have 2 Tenacious Underdog, which could be removal against Planeswalkers. So we'll keep it at 9. Graveyard Trespasser, no. Liliana of the Veil is more removal, so that's up to 11 right there. You have the Brotherhood's End, it's 13 pieces right there. 2 Sheldreds, that's 15 pieces. Vraska, that's 17 pieces of removal. Like, half of your deck is spot removal. I mean, it's an aggro deck or another mid-range deck is going to have a hard time getting one up on you with this list. I mean, it's like removal.deck over here. And so honestly, I think that's really what gave us the edge against that red deck that we just played against in our last game. It's like everything we played was either attacking their hand or attacking their cards in play. So like, I mean, they were at a disadvantage from the get. So yeah, I'd say this is a pretty decent version of Rakdos to play in the post-ban meta. The absence of Invoke Despair and Fable the Mirror Breaker are definitely felt, but it doesn't make the deck unplayable. I mean, if anything, you just kind of adapt a little bit and play different cards. Because like now that we're not spending 5 mana on Invoke Despair, now that frees us up to play something like Sheldred. Now that we're not paying 3 mana for Fable, now I guess we freed that up for Phyrexian Arena and Brotherhood's End. So there are other alternatives to the cards that got banned. My personal preference to this deck, though, I think I would personally rather go with the more consistent mono black build over this, but this is a good alternative to play with. So, of cards I would change, I would probably... Honestly, it's a little bit difficult to say. I'd probably go up 1 on the Sheldred's Edict and maybe go down 1 on the Cut Down, just because the versatility of Sheldred's Edict to hit tokens, non-tokens, or planeswalkers over Cut Down that only hits a single kind of creature. I'm a big fan of versatility, so I'd probably want to up the Sheldred's Edict. So down 1 Cut Down, up 1 Sheldred's Edict. We have 6 2-drops, so I don't think we need to go any heavier than that. The 3-drop slots are pretty hotly contested with a creature, an enchantment, a master removal, and a planeswalker. So I don't think we really need to mess with the numbers too much there. Also you have the Phyrexian Fleshgorger that is competing for that slot as well in the early game. So your curve is looking pretty solid. I mean, yeah. Out of everything that we got here, it is a pretty solid deck. I mean, even in the mana base, you have the 2 copies of Mirrex, which literally won us the game against Mono Blue. So, yeah, it's solid. Take it out for a spin, give it a shot, see if you like it. Me personally, I think I'm going to keep it in my collection and maybe tweak it a little bit over the next couple weeks. I will drop a link to this deck in the description box below. So if you are interested in this deck, you can follow the link, copy it, import it to Arena, and take it out for a spin. It's a solid play. I definitely recommend it. So until next time, take care of yourselves.